I think he stole the show for season 3. I mean, I was hyped because we saw him in the trailer, but the way they introduced him, man, I absolutely love the way they did it all. Especially, the honk. That was definitely one of my favorite moments for him. And like you said, like the way they brought him back with humor, because he was such a serious character,
right?
And Karate Kid too, but he did have that little bit of humor, like if you saw it in that sense, he's just literally toying with Daniel. But yeah, I absolutely love the way Yuji brought that back to that character, and he brings his A game with delivering that. That whole Okinawa trip, that was very nostalgic, and of course, I know you said you absolutely love Karate Kid growing up, so that must have hit, like, with the fact they've rekindled these characters like Kamiko and Chosen.
Yeah, no, it was so fantastic. And then, just sort of generally, each season is sort of unique in its own sort of party. But I think that in season 3, so much had been established with all of the characters that just everybody just got like really great, meaty arcs to chew on and to watch the characters expand and grow and take their journeys through the season. Everyone just, not that season 1 and season 2 weren't brilliant, but it really just felt like everyone just like it really hit their stride. I thought that this was some of the best work that we've seen from Ralph yet. And same thing with everybody else. I mean, it was just, I loved it so much. It's still consistently mind-blowing to me that I get to be a part of this at all. I mean, I would be a huge Cobra Kai fan no matter what. But the fact that like I get to be on it every once in a while, it's just astounding to me. I don't know.
I remember you were saying it when we last spoke, like just because I remember asking him what was it like being in a room with William and Ralph and seeing these guys on screen and Karate Kid, and then you're in a scene with them and directly interacting with them. That was obviously a surreal moment for yourself. And yeah, like you said, that's pretty crazy.
It was absolutely nuts. And I remember when we were shooting season 1, when we shot episode 7 at that board meeting, obviously that was our first time on set. It was the first time that the board members had met each other. None of us knew each other beforehand, even though all of us are. Well, Carrie Ann Marie's kind of a gypsy, but she dabbles in Atlanta. But the rest of us are locals to Atlanta. But we didn't know each other yet, or at least I didn't know anybody else. And so, we were getting to know each other, but then also, navigating this bizarre scenario of being with not just Billy and Ralph, but being with Johnny Lawrence in the Karate Kid. 34 years after the first movie, just every once in a while we would look at each other and just be like, holy shit, like that's what is happening today? It's nuts.
Oh my God.
Nuts.
I would feel the same. It would hit you like a ton of bricks, I bet. Like obviously when you first heard that, oh my God, I'm going to be in the scene with Johnny and Daniel, that must have got you excited. But actually being in that moment, like that must have been a whole new deal. But
it was, I'll never forget too, because I had auditioned for some other roles before I booked Ron. And so they never gave me a whole script for the audition, but I had read a few pages here and a few pages there. And so I knew that like Ron had, a scene, but that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And so when I got the script and I realized like, oh my God, I'm the both of them, and we are going to determine whether or not Cobra Kai's in the tournament. Like this isn't just, here's your coffee, sir. It was amazing when I got to read that script. And the same thing with season 3. I mean, I didn't know until a few weeks prior to that one day that I shot. It actually turned out to be 2 days, but it was just because the schedule had gotten pushed. So I was there for a long time and then got sent home and came back the next day. But, just knowing a few weeks out that I was going to get to come back, but then the same thing, I didn't know if it was going to be for like a major portion of the episode or multiple episodes or what. And so when I got that script and realized that I had like this nice little scene with Daniel and Amanda in the Miyagi-Do backyard.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great.
I love the line as well. Oh, it looks like a tiki garden. Was that improv or was that complete script?
No, that's the script. It's actually interesting across the board. Watching Cobra Kai as a fan, I sort of get the feeling that there may be improvisation here and there, and there may be, I don't know, but they, it's a comedy, and so a lot of times comedies can work in one of two ways. It can be very loosey goosey and free for all, or the exact opposite. And Cobra Kai really does, stick very closely to the script, and so the way that those jokes are crafted, that's a tribute to the writers, that they're so smart and so funny. And I'm old and easily confused, so sometimes I call it ballparking. Sometimes I accidentally ballpark my lines a little bit. They weren't exactly what they were supposed to be, but they're in the ballpark. It's close enough.
Yeah.
There's a person on set called the script supervisor, or scripty for short. Right. And it's their job just to sit there and make sure that it's word perfect. And if it's not, they'll come and let you know and give you the fix and make sure that you're saying it right. And so that happens on Cobra Kai quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's always that one person that goes, "Oh no, is this line?" Like in the bloopers and stuff. I can't wait to see the bloopers for this season. I just feel like season 1 and 2 bloopers were great, but it would be funny to see some season 3 stuff. Yeah, and then of course, then you have the crystal light. And didn't you have some on your birthday? Because I remember I said I think you said you had some on your birthday. Like literally, you had crystal light.
Yeah, I actually do. And this happened, prior to shooting season 3. But I enjoy a little flavor in my water. It helps keep me happy. The lights kind of go to. I try not to drink too much soda. So.
Yeah, I don't think I've drank like fizzy drinks in a long time. I mean, obviously, it just bloats you and stuff, and yeah, it's not the best, but never hurts if you have one or two every so often. So with season 3, of course, there's no tournament. We're still waiting for that. We're going into season 4, hoping to see the tournament early. But of course, that entire scene with Daniel, Johnny, Kreese arguing about their side to bringing back the tournament. What do you think of that scene?
Are you talking about at the end when they make the bet?
Oh, I meant at the committee, when they're trying to basically argue the point about the tournament. Because the school fights kind of put the tournament in jeopardy. And of course, Ron goes to Daniel saying, if it's the 2-time champ that comes, we could argue that case that the tournament needs to continue.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was a great scene. When I saw they had released some promo pics of that scene. There's a pic that floated around a lot of Daniel and Johnny all sitting next to each other, looking like they're in trouble or whatever. And I kind of thought, I think I know what that is. I think that is the meeting that Ron sends Daniel to, and I was correct. But I thought it was great, and I loved the amount of fun things that Amanda got to do. Season 3, she really, just became a super badass. I mean, she's a badass anyway, but but the fact that she really stood up, slapped Kreese in the face.
That was brilliant. I love that. That was one of the things in the trailer when I first saw the trailer and I reacted to it. I was like, wait, Amanda slapped him? Oh my God, that was a huge moment. And I like the fact she because Amanda's very logical. She tries not to get involved in all the karate hijinks and really tries to take a third person perspective and, just give Daniel that, that advice. Let's not do it in that typical violent way. And I love the fact that she's kind of realized that she can't control that in the way she would deal with it. So she kind of takes things into her own hands and you see this whole other side to her, but it's great. It's not she's losing herself. It's more of damn, I've been fair about this, but I need to physically do something about it. And Yeah, I mean, what Kreese does is was very extreme, so it's only fair. But of course, like they make her look bad because she's all saying this to Kreese at the committee. Yeah. It would have been interesting to see Ron in that scene because seeming you're the one that went there, like if you were in attendance, it would have. I felt like it would have made a lot of sense.
I agree. I don't know. It's like, Dave, you have to go to this meeting. I'm not going to go, but good luck. Yeah,
right.
I mean, I think that I'm sure that there's some logic behind it, and I would assume it has something to do with the fact that the woman that runs the meeting,
right?
She's got her own board, and I don't know how I don't know. It seems like her behavior to a certain extent mirrors Ron's a lot, and I think that maybe that's part of the joke. So I don't know. Maybe it just would have complicated things. Like if I had been there, I probably would have been on the panel.
Right.
And, that's something that maybe they just thought about for a little while, but they didn't have time to within the scene to flesh that out.
Right.
So I don't know. Last time I was working on Cobra Kai with season 3, John had said something, and he said this to us a bunch of times, that out of all of the things that they've created in Cobra Kai, for some reason, the All Valley Tournament Committee is one of John's favorite things. And, I mean, it's one of my favorite things too. I don't disagree with him, but but he's said multiple times that there have been scenes that they've written for us, but that they then realized, like, we have so many stories to tell. Like, unfortunately, we've got to sort of, put our bigger irons in the fire and stuff like that. I don't know. It's a good question. I would assume that Ron would want to be there, but I don't know. Maybe he had to take his kid to soccer practice or something. He just couldn't make it.
Yeah, probably. Maybe secretly learning karate.
Yeah.
Opening his own dojo, Ron Kai. I mean, that scene is interesting. At first, I was confused because I was like, it's to do with the tournament, but I guess this is like like a hierarchy, like it's out of your control. So maybe that's probably why Ron wasn't involved. There's one thing
part of the joke too, I think, is that there's such karate in the Valley has such a large. It's like a government. There's also branches and committees and boards and committees that sit above other committees. So I think that the politics of karate in the Valley can get pretty complicated. So
definitely
that was I guess the Valley trying to ban the tournament, which would be a whole other or a whole other group of people or whatever. So
I mean, one thing I've always been curious about, and I don't know if you probably might not even know about it, but so in season 1, when Johnny makes that point, about unbanning Cobra Kai, they've changed now. So I know he unbanned Cobra Kai, but how Terry Silver and Kreese were part of that, and even I think maybe Mike Barnes. I was curious. Now we're going into a tournament next season, and Kreese was in Cobra Kai. I'm so curious how he's gonna re-enter the tournament, although he's still banned. But I still don't know if he was unbanned with that whole Cobra Kai ban. But I feel like that's strictly that,
It's always been an interesting point that Cobra Kai was always Kreese's, but then Johnny just decided to open up a Cobra Kai, like I could just go open up a McDonald's. It doesn't work like that. It's not his. When Kreese comes back and he's just like, no, actually, this Cobra Kai was mine all along. I just let you, you were a pawn in my bigger game, but now you're out and I'm in.
Right. And I feel even though it was great, he wanted to bring it back. Obviously there's consequences to that, and then Kreese steals it back and says, "Yeah, it's mine. I own Cobra Kai." Even though Terry kind of got the dojo for him. It's quite interesting that I feel maybe they'll obviously mention that in next season, hopefully. So talking about Kreese, you know, he's obviously been quite an extreme character from what we've seen, you know, in the original Karate Kid films, and of course his return, and he's always had this, you know, very cunning way of dealing with people. Now, do you think his ways, which can come across as very extreme, do you think they've been justified with that backstory that we've seen this season?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it always, I think the writers are really smart in always tying things back into the fact that there's, there's no bad students, there's only bad teachers. And,
right.
There's maybe a greater universal question about whether or not people are inherently good and they just make mistakes, or are they inherently evil and every once in a while they figure out ways to not be, and I think on our show, I think it's probably a combination of both. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, Kreese is a horrible person. I mean, he's bad things happen to him, but bad things happen to everybody. Bad things have happened to Johnny. But he's been able to, overcome some of those things to a certain extent. I mean, he still makes mistakes a lot, but but that inside he really does have a heart of gold. He's just very flawed and very traumatized. And, I think that I've always looked at Daniel and Johnny as being really, really similar, because they both are, kind of bad fathers that lacked father figures in their lives.
Right.
But now that we know Kreese's backstory, you can kind of, throw him in there too.
Yeah. I think there's, it's very important, like what you mentioned, like the fact that Daniel and Johnny are very similar, because Ali really brings them together and she makes them realize, yeah, you guys are similar. Like, they just think, oh, he's done this to me, he's done that to me. Very childish, but Ali really makes sense of their rivalry, because they could be friends in what they've been through. And they've obviously had moments in season 1 and 2 where they've had common ground, obviously both having a sensei that's like a father figure, showing them a way to live despite what they've gone through, giving them confidence and inner strength. And then, of course, it's karate. It's like it couldn't be any more familiar. Like, what if you were to say that, out of Daniel and Johnny, which character do you feel that resonates with you the most?
I mean, I think I'd have to say Daniel at the end of the day, but I think that maybe ties more into the fact that, I grew up with the movies. And so I spent, of course, I love Johnny now, but I spent my life not liking him, just through the first 2 films. But I mean, I think that there's elements of both of them in me. But I think, I guess, to put it in another way, I am always compelled to, I'm not saying I always get it right, but I'm always compelled to be a good person and a kind person. I always try and be, even when I'm playing video games and you have the option of like saving the person or kicking them off the roof or like bad thing ever, I always have to be the good guy. If it's like a Star Wars game, I can't do the dark side stuff. Try and take the correct course. So.
Right. It's funny you said about Star Wars. I feel like the All Valley Committee, in the sense that you guys are all essentially like the Jedi, right?
We're like the council. I like that.
Yeah, I can imagine you sitting together wearing all the Jedi clothing, just like talking. Yoda's there with you guys. And like someone like, Johnny tries to make his point and he looks like Anakin or something.
Well, we talked about the fact that, and Hayden was asking us about this last time we were all together. Or last time I was with him, he was asking me. He was like, you guys have karate experience, right? And I'm like, yeah, we all do. And we're just waiting for the shit to go down so we can, rip our glasses off and
you're just getting ready, like you're all suited up, just trying to be discreet.
Exactly. But yeah, I think that that's why we do it. I mean, it's not, I seriously doubt that it's our, full-time job. We've got other stuff going on, but we're obviously very passionate about karate in the Valley, probably because, we did karate in the Valley back when we were, under 18. We were probably in the tournament,
Hmm.
We probably weren't very good. That's why we went into, administration.
But, perhaps like you guys were at the tournaments that were never mentioned, and like, yeah, you just, go into the committee and there you go. I mean, it'd be amazing if like we found out that, one of the guys in the committee was like a former champion, although they kept it quiet. I mean, Ron would be very humble to be like, he's a 5-time champion, but they never mentioned it.
Yeah.
And, you got Daniel and Johnny, trying to argue this and that. And it's like, Ron's sitting over there, mate. Do you know how many he's won?
You're the 2-time champs. Bless your heart. I've got 5. Yeah.
Yeah, literally 5. Oh, that'd be brilliant. So I think you were saying earlier on about, you did did you audition for different characters?
Mm-hmm.
So what other character did you want or would you audition for if you could?
Well, first of all, this is quite common that if a casting director enjoys an actor's work, male or female, if a casting director likes an actor's work, then they will audition them for a lot of roles in a project. So there are films and TV shows that it's happening right now with a couple of shows that I can't really talk about, but
yeah, sure.
But there are shows that I've auditioned 6, 7, 8 times for, and I haven't booked it yet. But just point being, it's a pretty common thing, and it's good. It's a compliment. It means that the casting director is fighting for you, and the producers and directors are too. But there's just a lot of puzzle pieces that have to fit perfectly, and it's not something that's in my control. I just sort of do my best and hope for the best. So there were some other roles that I auditioned for. I think that the actors that booked those roles did wonderful jobs, and I wouldn't want to take anything away from any of their work. But another thing to think about is that like the camera has a lot of times a lot less imagination than like the theater does.
Yeah.
So, in theater, like, I could play Hamlet, you could play Hamlet. They'd both be brilliant, but they'd be very different productions. And in the theater sort of imagine itself like that. With, on camera, when you're so closely observed, really the roles that we tend to book, especially when we aren't like super famous, like Meryl Streep plays all sorts of different roles, and they'll put a bunch of makeup on her or whatever. Glenn Close just did it in Hillbilly Elegy, but that's sort of like, the top tier of working professionals that have been in the business for a long time. The rest of us tend to book roles that really are just the essence of us, and that's sort of the magic of the work of the casting director. So I auditioned for some other stuff, and I felt like I did a good job. But when I auditioned for Ron and got the call back for Ron, I was like, oh, this is me, and that's also sort of the roles that roles like that are ones that I tend to book. Like the guy in the suit that's talking about some really important stuff. Maybe not necessarily a bad guy, but brass tacks and taking care of stuff and sitting on committees. I tend to book those roles quite a bit.
Yeah, it's interesting you're saying about the auditions and stuff, because like what's one? Obviously, like this is a very competitive industry. Like there'll be, like you said, you have to just constantly not give up and like strike first, like get to it, get those auditions, and of course they might not go. You might not get it first time, but you might get it later. But like, how do you make sure you're staying really motivated and not let like an audition kind of get to you? Because there could be a few auditions you might do and you're really excited. You're like, yeah, I've got loads. I got a good feeling I'll get them. You might not. Like, how do you make sure you're not distracted or, you keep it flowing with being an actor?
I think it's just a matter of experience and accruing experiences. And just, I mean, first of all, like there's no, it's it's on me to screw it up or succeed. I mean, my agent's going to send me an audition. I can either nail that audition, do the best job that I can possibly do, interpret it the way that I see fit, really knock it out of the park, and then send it off, send it to the internet and or I could, worry about it, blow it off, screw it up.
Yeah.
And so it's all on me. So I just have learned over the years just to keep persevering. I mean, it's a marathon. It's not a race. And you just got to keep thinking, if it all ended today, if I never got another audition ever, I could look back on my body of work, over the years and go like, well, that, I not bad, Lewis, not bad, but yeah. I think the worst possible thing that you can do is want something so badly that it impairs your ability to do well. And so what I mean by that is that, like, I'm also a coach, and I'll help auditions, especially, younger actors that are trying to figure out how to audition on camera. And it bleeds through. And this happened to me too when I was first starting out, because I've only been working on camera for about 6 years now. That you want something so bad that it's readily apparent in your audition, and that's the main thing that's reading. So, like, you're auditioning for Stranger Things, and you're just thinking like, oh God, I want to be on Stranger Things so bad. This would be so cool. This would make someone get famous. I want to be on Stranger Things. And that's what's going on in your head while you're trying to audition. Your performance is going to be awful. So instead, it's just, following your process and being yourself and saying the words and being relaxed and pleasant. And then you just hope for the best, I mean, there's things over the years that have, huge shows and movies and stuff that I've auditioned for, but, you got to just do your best and then not worry about it. And then in the meantime, good things happen. Like, I get to be on Cobra Kai. I got to do a movie last year written and directed by Jon Stewart, starring Steve Carell. And we got to work with him and Deborah Messing and Jon Stewart and Kurt Yee, who plays George in the tournament committee. He was in that film as well. Irresistible. It's on HBO now. So, good things happen. You just got to keep plugging along, can't give up.
Sure. I love that mentality. Like, it's very gritty, and like, it must be something that you really must preach to, people that you coach. Is there like a overriding principle that you always try and teach anyone that's trying to get into acting or just to stay on top of their game?
There's multiple things. I mean, the one thing that we are all told all the time, and something that we tell each other, is that if there's something else in your life that you could do that would bring you as much or more joy than acting, go do that instead, because you'll probably make more money and you'll be less miserable.
Yeah, right.
Self-doubt and rejection and, all of the things that come with this business, you've got to want it. If you just kind of want it, just do something else. And there's no shame in that, but you're just going to be a generally happier person if you're doing something that's bringing you joy. So this has to bring you joy. And, I spent my 20s singing for a punk band and trying not to be an actor. I tried to quit and it just didn't work. So, there's that. And, and then also just, I mean, along the lines of finding the joy in your work, you've got to find the joy in the journey and find joy in growth. There are times where, like, I auditioned for, last year was kind of a weird year because of the pandemic, but the year before that, I auditioned for like 260, 270 things.
Wow.
And some of those were like, 6, 7, 8 auditions for the same project or whatever. But out of that, close to 300 auditions, I think I booked, including commercials and stuff, I think I booked 10 things. So 10 of almost 300. And those are actually really good numbers. So there are times where I've auditioned for something that I was really hopeful for and I didn't get it. But then a couple months later, I went back and looked at that audition and I thought, like, wow, like, I did a really good job on that one, or wow, I can see how I've improved since that audition. But either way, that's sort of a positive joy finding experience. And then also, probably most importantly, your attitude and people's opinions about you are very important. You've got to be a good person to work with. If your name comes up, then people need to be saying like, "Oh my God, Shamoon, that guy, like, get him in here." I don't even know how to use him, but I want to see him because I love him. Like you want those sorts of conversations to be had about you. So that's another thing that's really important.
I feel that that's such a brilliant point you brought up about like, yeah, if it doesn't bring joy, don't bother. Because like with anything, like what I'm doing now, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be interviewing. I wouldn't be doing YouTube if I didn't find joy in it.
Right.
And yeah, it's kind of living. It's like a full living a life. I think it's like good, but it's not. I really do find it must be tough to be in this sort of industry, but obviously testament to your ability to not give up and just to keep going, because it's like anything that has a lot of competition. Obviously there's going to be people who give up and they're like, right, that's it, I can't do this anymore. But yeah, 300 bookings and then 300 auditions and then 10 bookings, like the persistence of that's quite inspirational. So
and that's good. That's exceptional in terms of the amount of auditions, and then also the amount that I was able to secure out of those opportunities. But that just means that, sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I might be fighting a cold, sometimes I might have 8,000 things going on, and I just don't have time to mess with this and learn these lines and do the thing. But you just gotta every opportunity you get, you just gotta shoot your shot and not give up.
For yourself, have you felt that you always have wanted to express yourself creatively, or do you feel like you're more of like a practical person, like you just want to achieve something and feel like, yeah, I've got this, now there's the next thing? Or is it like, do you feel like, yeah, it's the journey and just being as creative as possible?
I've always been more of a creative person. I've never been very pragmatic or responsible, which is why my relationship with my wife works so well, because she is she is the opposite. So we always joke around that I'm in charge of the entertainment division of the household, and she's keeping the lights on and stuff like that.
Right.
I've never been like a 9-to-5 sort of person.
Right.
And sometimes I wish I was, but even when I was younger and working, I always worked in like not just restaurants, but like really crazy restaurants that were like mom and pops and owned by lunatics, and working with a bunch of crazy people. And I've just always enjoyed, I guess I've always enjoyed being off balance, off kilter to a certain extent, and just sort of responding to what's happening around. And so I sort of like the fact that from day to day, I don't know what challenges the day is going to bring, because I'm not just like going to the office at 7, leaving at 5, that sort of thing.
Right. In Cobra Kai, the ending, we need to definitely touch on that. I feel like that ending is so. There's so many unanswered questions, and of course that's why we got another season coming, and of course hopefully we'll have way more down the line. With that ending, how do you think things will work between Daniel and Johnny, just based on like a prediction?
I mean, they're gonna try and work together, but I don't know how long that's gonna last. I mean, they just, we've already touched upon this. Like they're so similar, and they're both such alphas, and they had to collaborate with each other or with anybody else. I mean, Daniel's got his own, auto dealership. That's his own business. He collaborates with his partner, his wife, but that's his thing. And the same thing with Johnny. I mean, Johnny, was bumming around and being a handyman and stuff, but that was his own thing. He's never had to share the reins with anybody. So, and also, at least based on the end of season 3, it seems like, in the fact that Johnny doesn't have Cobra Kai anymore, it seems like Johnny's Eagle Fang is going to get sort of vacuumed into and combined with Miyagi-Do. I don't see that lasting very long at all.
Yeah,
I think it's all going to fall apart pretty quickly. That's what
you said it like spot on. Like the fact they're both alphas, and they have very different. Even though they're similar, they're different but same. Like they've got very different approach to karate. Like Johnny's all about the striking hard, striking first, but obviously bending the rules on the no mercy thing, because that's where he feels that he's different from the OG Cobra Kai. And then of course, Daniel's karate's for self-defense. That's it. You use it to protect others, but that's it. There's no more to it.
Right.
You don't use it for your personal gain. Just like Miyagi said, you don't need to, you don't need to go back to a tournament and get a plastic trophy and represent that. Like, it doesn't mean anything. With Johnny, it's like, he proved a point with going back on top with Cobra Kai, but then, Eagle Fang's here. With those styles, it's going to be hard to see, but I would honestly love a third person that hasn't been involved with either to perhaps merge their styles. Like someone like Chosen, I think, would be such a great person to help Daniel learn more from Johnny, because that whole arc with Chosen, it's so you can see how the impossible can happen. Someone you've had a fight to the death with could be your friend.
Yeah.
And Johnny and Daniel teaming up. Who would have thought that during the original film? No one would have thought that.
Right.
Unless you'd seen like a clear indication. What life lessons do you think people can learn from watching Cobra Kai, and just personally for yourself, like you've been from watching The Karate Kid?
There's so much that I took from Miyagi's philosophies, and very similar to I think myself and a lot of people looked at the wisdom of Yoda and found things that they could apply to their lives in that sort of way. So, Miyagi's philosophies channeled through Daniel, all of Daniel's ideas about finding balance and how, when Daniel's failing or when Johnny's failing, it's due to a lack of balance. Things along those lines. Yeah.
I absolutely love the fact that you have all these different types of characters where you can relate to, and you can pick different things here and there, and with Daniel and Johnny as well. There could be someone in your life that picked on you in school, and you might see them again, and you're kind of like, how do I feel about this? I should have moved on from it, but what if they're bringing something from my past that I really don't want to see? I love the relatability of that, because it can happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that Daniel's been a bit, what's the word? Do you think he's had more of a problem with Johnny rather than Johnny having a problem with him? How do you feel about
that? I think there's something to that. I think that Johnny just sort of generally cares less about anything, he's grown over the 3 seasons, but as long as he's got his baloney and his Iron Eagle videotape, he's whereas I think Daniel is just much more of a neurotic sort of person that's thinking about all of those things and letting those things rattle him and bother him and affect him, and he wants to be liked, I think, a lot more than Johnny. I just don't think Johnny really cares that much, or not as much as Daniel does.
Right. And then you have a name like Eagle Fang Karate, and he thinks that, what Bert says is brilliant. Like, it's mongooses, they get killed by or something. And he's like, no, Bert, a real animal. Did you have any?
When I got the script for season 3, they sent me the whole script for that episode. And
I was about to ask, yeah.
So I did know about Eagle Fang for over a year, and I didn't tell anybody. But I just thought that it was just the funniest freaking thing, and just reading it, I was like, I can't wait to see this, What's the line where he's like, Eagles don't get shit on. We're the ones that do the shitting. I was like, this is so funny. Oh my God. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. I spoke to Aiden Minks, played Mitch, and he was saying they didn't know just like right before then they were told about the name, and then they found it like there and then, and they said like, yeah, the name was brilliant. And yeah, I mean, Eagle Fang is so, it couldn't be more Johnny. Like it's
so dumb. Like it doesn't make any sense. Eagles don't have fangs. It's not an eagle snake. I don't even know what it is, but it's hilarious.
Yeah. At first, I didn't know what to feel about it. I was like, this name, it doesn't stick. Then I went, well, it does say a lot about Johnny. Like,
right.
The fact he thinks that this eagles have fangs, all this kind of thing. But it's again, the name Eagle. I didn't even think about that. The whole thing with Iron Eagle, like it was kind of, maybe he felt inspired by that. It does sound very 80s as well. So it's got that cheesiness.
He just came up. It was like the two most badass animals that you could think of. And if you combined them, then that would be even more badass. I think that's, and then obviously it's clear, at least to me, that he drew the logo himself. So
the logo makes it even funnier. It's just like such an animated eagle. Like, it couldn't be more.
Sitting over his notebook. Like, yeah, great. Perfect. Eagle Fang.
I can imagine I'd love to see a montage of Johnny just creating all these drawings and all these like, is that what an eagle looks like? And then like didn't even think about looking, do eagles have fangs? He just kind of thought, I can just do this, it'll be cool. Like it'll be badass. No one will notice. But yeah, I absolutely love that name, and I feel like it's one of the most interesting names a karate dojo could have. Like, you got Miyagi-Do, Cobra Kai, even the ones at the tournament like Topanga. And then yeah, Eagle Fang fits into that. Like it's just amazing.
I really hope there's a tournament in season 4, and I can't wait to see Eagle Fang participate and have the or whoever have the announcers have to deal with the ridiculousness of that.
Daryl's gonna have a fun time announcing Eagle Fang karate.
Eagle Fang.
Yeah, I love it. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Matt. What we'll do is we'll get some fan questions to round this off. So what I'll do is I'm going to send a link to my viewers so they can all jump in. And yeah, if you guys got any questions for Matt, of course, now is your chance. I've just sent the link on the stream. So you guys go ahead and we'll see who the first brave person is. Yeah, perfect timing. Love it. All right, cool. It would be cool to see that scene again, but Daniel actually heals someone. That's something I really want to see in the next season.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think that would be amazing.
For sure. All right, we have Sam first. What's up, my man? How we doing?
Hi, I'm good.
What's up, Sam?
Fine.
So how's it going, man?
It's going good.
Good to see you again, man.
Yeah, you too.
So what's your question for Matt?
You got for me, buddy?
My question is, out of all the shins in the 2 dojos, who would you like to see fight in the All Valley?
Out of everybody in the dojos, who would I like to see fight?
Yeah.
Like different combinations?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a good question. I love Sam's journey through not wanting to do karate at all in season 1. And, it was something that she did when she was a kid with her dad, but then she sort of blew it off and grew out of it. But then her, really getting into it over the course of the 3 seasons. So I would love to see Sam, get in there and kick some butt and
Sam and Tori at the tournament.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd be down with that. That'd be fun.
That's definitely a big fun.
I love all of those kids, as actors are all so kind and so down to earth and so nice that it feels good to know them professionally, but it's also really exciting to watch their characters have new journeys. So it's a great question, but I think in general, I would just love to see a really, really kick butt tournament. I think that would be really exciting. We've been waiting on one for a while now. So.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. It's like 3 season wait now, right? It's been a while. All right, Sam, thank you for the great question. Thanks for coming on as always, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, take it easy.
See ya.
See you, man.
All right, cool. All right, we have Stone Reed. What's up, my man?
What's up, guys? What's up, man?
What's up,
How you guys doing? Nice
Good,
seeing
man.
you.
How are you?
Good. How you
What's
doing?
up, man? I'm good.
All right, cool. What's your
Nice to see you all
question?
today?
You too.
Oh, my
Yeah, of
question
course,
is
man.
that I remember Matt Lewis. He played on the part where Rides and Dion. I remember you. Hey, what's up? Hey.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yes. That's my question. What's up, man? You're the one that played on Rides and
What?
Dion, right?
Yeah. I was on Raising Dion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your question.
Yeah, Rides and Dion. Yeah, I remember you were the principal.
I
Yeah,
was
that's
the
my
principal.
question. Yeah. What's up? Yeah.
That was a really fun
Yeah.
shoot. Great show to be a part of.
Yeah.
And I got to spend a lot of time with Desai, who plays Dion, and he's just such a nice kid, so sweet.
Yeah.
And another fun thing about that show was that when I have that scene with Dion and the other kid about the watch and all that stuff, that school was actually at least 3 different schools where they filmed. But where we filmed that episode, the exteriors and the interiors, rather, that was my kid's actual school at the time. Down the hill from my house, and it was really weird to be such a mean, nasty person on the campus of my kid's actual school. But it was a really fun show to be a part of. I love Raising Dion.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
It's sweet.
Thanks,
You're welcome. I'll see you guys next time. Yeah.
All right,
Take
man.
care. All right. What's up, Sammy? You there, buddy?
Hello.
Hey,
How's
Sammy.
it going?
I'm listening.
Oh, we just turned on Siri.
Sammy, you're good, bro? Something wrong with his mic?
Okay, I have a question.
Hey, Sammy.
Yeah, sure, go for it. Siri.
What is your question, sir?
Sammy, what's your question for us, buddy?
Season 4 is of Cobra Kai.
Go for it.
Repeat the question.
I couldn't hear him.
Finished filming Cobra Kai season 4.
Oh, have they finished Cobra Kai season 4? No, not yet. It should. Every season so far has taken like around 5 months, and they started in January. Now, I'm not really sure about what their specific schedule is like for season 4 or anything like that. It could be that they've picked up the pace a little bit just because of COVID. They're trying to like get it shot, keep everybody healthy, and then wrap it up and go away. But I'm not really sure. It's usually every season's taken like 4 to 5 months to shoot, about 5 months to shoot, and then another like 4 or 5 months to edit. Especially now that the show's on YouTube, they have to do a lot more post-production stuff. They have to, it's dubbed in like most of the languages on the planet. So that takes some time. But I'm hopeful that we'll see, and I've seen John Hurwitz say this in a couple of tweets and stuff, that they're hopeful that we will be able to see season 4 about the same time we got season 3. So
that'd be great.
Yeah, like very like end of the year, very early January, whatever. There was obviously season 3 there was delays and stuff because of the move to YouTube. So
yeah, Sammy, thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Thanks, Sammy. Take care.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. I just about heard him. I don't know if it was connection. All right, we'll take Ben. What's up, my man?
Yo, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Ben?
Good. Good to see you again, my man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. Great to be here with
Pleasure,
you guys.
man.
Yeah, man.
So my question is, out of the 3 dojos, which dojo do you see yourself in, like, joining?
Miyagi-Do, for sure.
He's loyal to Miyagi.
Yes.
I grew up. I'll try and keep this as brief as I can, but I grew up a Karate Kid fan, And the main reason that I did was because the summer of '84, when Karate Kid came out, that was the first summer that my family had moved to a different state, and I had to be a new kid for the first time.
Oh, wow.
You know, I'd never done that before. So, and we moved at the beginning of the summer, and there weren't a lot of kids just like right around my neighborhood. So that, you know, I saw Karate Kid, and then I had the soundtrack on vinyl, and I dubbed it on cassette tape and listened to it on my Walkman. And I just rode my bike around and listened to the Karate Kid soundtrack like all summer long.
Wow.
And that movie, you know, really helped me out a lot because it, you know, as I was the new kid, I was watching Daniel struggle through the same stuff. And when we were shooting season 1, I got to tell Daniel that story. And then when I came back for season 3, I had the guts, because I was comfortable enough with Ralph, I had the guts to bring in my album, and he signed it for me. And now
you had to seize the opportunity.
Yeah, got it framed, hanging on the wall in my office.
Oh, man, that is so awesome.
Yeah, so Miyagi-Do forever.
Absolutely.
That's certified it.
Oh, wow. That is.
What was it? I think I don't know if you actually know about this, Matt, but something crazy. One of the prop master from season 2, Becca Kenyon, told me this recently, that Ralph is so loyal to, you know, Miyagi-Do. Even like on set, he will not sit in a Cobra Kai chair.
Yeah.
It'll always have to be Miyagi-Do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is, yeah, Ralph's always going to be Miyagi. He'll never, ever have respect for that any other dojo. Yeah. So, you know, he's full on. He's Daniel in person.
The really cool thing about season 1, when we showed up to shoot episode 7, is that, you know, they always have these folding cast chairs that we can sit in.
Right.
And all of them said Cobra Kai on them because that's the name of the show. His was a Miyagi-Do chair. But this was season 1. This was way before we even knew that Miyagi-Do was still going to be a thing. His chair was white, and it had the, you know, the sunset with the bonsai tree logo.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining, like, everyone rocks up with the chairs, and then they're like, Daniel, take a seat. No, I'm good. I got mine. And he just, like, gets his out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Well, good to see you, Ben. It's always a pleasure, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on, guys. Pleasure talking.
Take care, man.
You're welcome, man. Take care.
Take care.
Take care. All right, we will take a few more. Luke, what's up, my man?
What's up?
How's it going?
Good.
Cool.
Do you think there will be a death in season 4 for any character?
Well, we haven't seen one yet. Now, have we? Well, except
we were trolled by the writers. They said 3 deaths to season 3. They all ended up being in the Kreese flashback, I believe.
Oh yeah.
They were very good for that.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely raise the stakes dramatically quite a bit. You know, I don't know, but I think that would be a pretty incredible story to watch unfold for sure. That's a great question.
Yeah, they kind of spoiled Miguel not dying in the trailer for season 3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, true, but I never thought personally that Miguel was going to die.
They're not going to kill him.
We needed to see an epic montage, an epic training montage of learning how to walk, which we definitely got. So,
yeah, definitely. Well, Luke, thank you for your question, man. I appreciate you coming on and everything.
For having me on.
No worries, man. Take it easy. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take one more special guest who you definitely know, Matt. Eric Lee.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's good?
Good.
Hey, what's up, Matt? What's up, Sean?
What's up, bro? How we doing?
Hey. Good. So I know you can't say much, but the popular theory is that Terry Silver bribes the committee for Cobra Kai to win the tournament.
I know where you're going.
You know,
Interesting.
I know you can't say anything, but what do you think about that theory?
That's an interesting theory. I wouldn't put it past him. He's a pretty evil dude. If that is the case, I would be curious as to who on the committee would bend. It seems like we're all pretty honorable people. So I don't know. Interesting question. Interesting.
Right. In season 1, they even said, you know, Kreese and Terry Silver were banned from the tournament, right?
Yeah.
Then you guys reinstated Johnny. But, you know, I'm curious to see what they do with that because, you know, they very specifically said Terry Silver and Mike Barnes are banned from the tournament.
Yeah,
I think
I
Joe
was
said
saying
it
earlier
actually
on.
in season 1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they navigate the politics of getting all of the different Cobra Kai people able to participate with Cobra Kai because there's like so many dojo owners at this point. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be excited to find that out too. You know.
Yeah. No, I can't wait to see Terry and like what else they do with season 4. It's obviously so much to go around and so much to find out on when season 4 premieres.
Yeah.
But Eric, thank you for coming on, man. As always, it's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, bud.
I think it's connections.
Yeah, he might be.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you, Eric. I hope you get this. All right. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Matt, thank you again for doing this. This has been a pleasure talking to you as always. And yeah, man, it's been super fun talking to you again about season 3.
Yeah, man, my pleasure. Anytime.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys for all tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with content. And I'll see you guys in the next one.